The self is without you, without you, without a you, without a me. You cannot pass through the eye of the needle. You cannot pass through the eye of the needle. But you have to pass through the eye of the needle. You leave the you behind. It's not so complicated. It sounds very complicated for the body-mind impression. The impression that I am a body-mind. How could I leave the body-mind behind, leave me behind, and realize the self? How could I? After all, I need to realize the self. You see, the self is already realized. You, the true you, is already realized. Meaning, there is only one reality, the reality of consciousness, awareness, presence, beingness. And this reality is not personal. There is no person that owns this reality. This reality is boundaryless. It does not exist in a time and space, the parameters of time and space, the limitations of time and space. The impressions of time and space arise in awareness, in presence, in consciousness. I use the term consciousness and awareness synonymously. The impression, the objective worldly impression of form with its limitations, seeming limitations, how tall a tree is, how thick the trunk is, how many leaves or no leaves are on the branches of the tree. These spatial and temporal parameters that have a certain accountability to them appear to and out of that is beyond all accountability, beyond all phenomenal formations and forms. It is consciousness that realizes itself. Not you, the body-mind, not you, person. You, the person, are perceived. You are perceived. You as a person arise as thought, memory, as bodily sensations. As perception. Thought is perceived sensation, bodily sensation is perceived. You can directly right now go to your back against the chair. That sensation, that bodily sensation, or the sensation of your feet on the floor. That sensation is perceived, arises, is perceived. If you rub your two hands together, the sensation is perceived without perceiving, without perception, without knowingness. What would the sensation be? There would be no sensation. It has to be a knowingness. There is a knowingness of thought, of sensation, of perception. I know I'm perceiving this perception. Whatever you call it, no need to call it anything. What is perceived, thought, sensation, perception, is secondary to the perceiver, secondary to that. Not perceiver as an object, not perceiver as a reference point, but to perception itself, consciousness itself, knowingness itself, beingness, awareness. The object appears and disappears, such as the memory of you when you were 5-year-old. Appears, disappears. Now you can have a different thought about what a wintry day, lovely wintry day it is right now. So what appears and disappears. But that perceives whatever appears and disappears, that does not appear, nor does it disappear. Whatever that is, that does not appear nor disappear, is what hears these words. We refer to that as I. I. I hear these words. But this I reference is not a body-mind reference. It's the I of awareness, I consciousness, I presence, I knowingness, I amness, I beingness. An I, the I that does not come and go. We refer to it as I, or presence, or consciousness, that does not come and go. It is not a concept, it is not an imagination. I hear these words right now. Whatever that I is, not an object. There is a hearing of these words. And we know deep down that I hear these words. But this I that hears these words is unstained, untainted by whatever is heard, by whatever is perceived, by whatever is sensed. It is that same untouched, unaffectable I that perceives a sunny day, beautiful sunset, or a snowstorm, blizzard, cloudy day. That is not touched, is not affected, is not subject to the fate of whatever appears on the screen, does not get wet with the rain, does not get sunburned with the sun. That is the I, the real I, the true I. Not the I, body, mind that appears and disappears on the screen. Whatever it is that hears these words right now, has no weight, no mass, no density, no viscosity, no dimension. It's not 3 feet tall or 5 foot tall or 20-kilometer wide. It is not red or blue, purple. It is not hot or cold or wet or dry. It has no starting point. It does not start here and end over there. Look directly. Go to whatever it is that hears these words right now. There is no doubt that I hear these words right now. I perceive this perception right now. This, whatever that I is, whatever that is, has no qualities, phenomenal qualities, has no mind qualities or worldly qualities. Yet it is very real. I hear these words. That is very real. Now this perception, I perceive this perception. There's no doubt that I perceive this perception. Now this perception is an image. Moving image, or a still image. That could very well be, why not, similar to an image in your night dream. An image in your night dream. Could be. Could be that right now this image is a night dream image. When you wake up from the night dream, the image is no longer the reality, is you, the dreamer of the image. The image arises out of you, it's made out of you. but you are not made out of the image. Our suffering and our misery is this ongoing identification with a character in the dream. Well, we refer to it as me, as I. We somehow have picked that same character, and that's the same character. What makes you the same character? What makes you the same character? Memory? Thought? Driver license? A name? Reference that is made to Magdi, to Bob, repetitive reference. An image. An image that, goodness, if you see Magdi 20 years ago and see Magdi now, if I put those two images, you would not recognize. I actually have one from the 1960s. Maybe I'll bring it next time. And you will look at this image and you will say, no, it's not you. But the mind says, yes, it's me. And to a certain extent, one could say, why not, that there is a certain continuity. Somehow, between last week and now, for most of us, this address, Magdi and Tara's home, is still the same. 8312 Upper Spring Lane, still the same. So there is a continuity. Between thought A and thought B. There is a continuity. We say, well, it's the same thought. But what's truly the same is the source. Like in your night dream, you dream of your lovely mother being with her on Tuesday. And on Saturday you dream of your mother again, being with her. We say it's the same mother, but it's the same dreamer. All sorts of images arise in the dream. The continuity of the images that arise in the dream are appropriated by thought. Thought appropriates the continuity and says this continuity is me, is my continuity. It says I, this body mind, and the world are the reality, and they, meaning I and the world, are what is continuous. So it is akin to a dream character, a child in your dream that appears. His name is Aladdin. You dream of Aladdin in your dream. I have a bias towards Middle Eastern, names. And Aladdin dreams of Tripoli. And Aladdin is convinced that he is continuous and so is Tripoli. But both of them, both Aladdin and Tripoli, arising in your dream. Upon waking up, both Aladdin and the Tripoli dissolve in your wakefulness. So the me impression and the world impression that seems to be real and continuous is maintained by the mind, meaning thought, meaning believing thought, because thought requires your partnership, requires your acquiescence. You have to say yes. It's a silent yes. It's a what is the silent partnership? And as a result of this silent partnership, the impression is that there is a continuity to a me and a continuity to a world. It's quite innocent in a way, except that what comes along with the belief and the impression, the feeling that I am the mortal body-mind, is the seed of mortality, fear of death, fear of ending, fear of extinction. And in a way, one could say that the realization of our true nature is the realization of the illusion of mortality, or the revelation of eternity, the eternity of the self. So no matter how hard you try in your worldly impressions, in your mind impressions, to find happiness, you will spin and spin and come back to satsang. Whereas there is no worldly peace and happiness that comes through the mind. It is only through the realization of the self that the world body mind is blessed and illumined with the bliss of the self.